So welcome back here as we see the start of the innings. The Laborie Pride in reply to the 166 delivery that's outside the off stump and played into the offside, and there's no run. So the innings of the Soufriere Stompers 166, so the target is 167. So Abraham, the non-striker, and Tristan Nobal. It's delivery that Nobal is driving, doesn't get hold of it. The ball goes to the mid-off region, and Mesmin is coming into field, and there's no run. So at the end of the first over, 2 without loss, with both batsmen, Abraham and Nobal, they're on 1.
Yes, certainly a good start for Prosper and the Soufriere Stumpers, and just no boundaries coming off. Abraham and Nobal opening things up. A bit of a change for the Laborie Credit Union Laborie Pride, as they did not open with young Theo Edward today. They used Nobal and Abraham instead. So change, really change in captaincy, change in batting lineup for the Laborie Credit Union Laborie Pride. Let's hope that brings in the kind of results that they're looking for. The Soufriere Stumpers really would have different ideas as they about to go into the second over of the innings.
Indeed. So Nobal is going to be in strike. So as we told you, 166 for 8 of the 20 overs. The Soufriere Stompers, good contributions of 55 from Ecstasy Manuel, 33 from Dwight Thomas. Those were the top scorers. Over number 2 beginning now as a delivery that is outside the off stump and wide called. So delivery that is too wide of off stump. So one more to the total. Best
is the bowler.
Is the new bowler. So number 57 from the southern end moves in, bowls to Nobal. Nobal is driving nicely. Good diving attempt and the throw to the non-strikers and just missing, but good work there by Ecstasy Manuel with the orange boots and diving away at short extra cover and just not able to knock the stumps down, but it couldn't have been far away with Nobal looking to get the single. In the end, he was able to get home, but that would have been very, very close had he hit. One more to the total, 4 without loss. Abraham is now in strike. Third man out on the boundary, as well as deep extra cover, solitary slip. We've also got backward point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and square leg. Best on the night sky, moves in, bowls to Abraham. Abraham is down the track looking to drive, and the ball eluding the big drive goes into the gloves of the keeper. So $167 the target. Best from the south moves in, bowls to Abraham. Abraham lofts that out towards the offside. It will go a long way and beyond the boundary, so a maximum, as Abraham has gotten under that and lofting it all the way over deep extra cover for 6 as he goes to 7 and takes his total to 10. A lusty blow there by Abraham.
Very good blow from Abraham, exactly what his team would have needed. He got the room to free his hand.
Best moving in. Abraham to this delivery is clipping that over this diving man at square leg on the edge of the circle. It goes out towards the boundary. It will not go all the way. They have taken two. They'll come back for the third as the return comes in. No ball is arriving safely, but a valiant attempt by the fielder on the edge of the circle with Abraham clipping off the hip, and he may have gotten maybe the tip of the fingers to it. It would have been a brilliant catch had he held on. As it is, they've taken 13 without loss. Best moving in to Nobal. Nobal is looking to clip it. It comes off the pad. They have taken one. Dwight Thomas is picking it up at the short backward square region. Umpire says leg by. So one more to the total. 14 without loss, as Nobal will stay on 2, and Abraham will come in to strike. Stephen Abraham, best moving balls to Abraham. Abraham is driving over the head of the inner ring, but straight to the fielder on the boundary, the sweeper. So one more to complete over number 2. So at the end of that over, it's 15 without loss, with the Soufriere Pride in the Soufriere Stompers correction in the field. The Laborie Pride, they have gone to 15 without loss after 2 overs.
Yes, this over, a more productive over for the Laborie Pride, with Abraham getting the maximum in the over. Certainly the kind of impetus they would need at this time, and Abraham giving it to them at that particular time.
Prosper continues, bows to Nobal. Nobal plays it airborne out towards Iman. In fact, Mesmin on the edge of the circle. It was airborne for most of his flight, but away from Emmanuel, who's inside of the circle, to his right and to the left of Mesmin. Mesmin completing the fielding. So one more to the total, as Abraham goes to 12. 16 without loss. Prosper bows to Nobal, looking to pull a delivery that was not short enough. The ball coming from the bat onto the boot and maybe into the surface, and having to be picked up on the offside. So no run. Nobal remains on 2. 16 without loss. This is the third over, as Prosper running away from us, bows to Nobal. Nobal is back looking to cut, but it's too close to him, and he doesn't get hold of it at all, doesn't make any contact. Straight to the keeper. So the total remaining on 16. Nobal is on 2. Solitary slip, third man. Point, extra cover. Backward point, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, the backward square. Prosper away from us, bows to Nobal, who's down the track and is losing his shape and also losing the ball and missing completely, and the ball going into the gloves of the keeper. So sweeping and swinging himself off his feet there and not making any contact.
Definitely, he's even if you advance down the track, the trick really is to keep your head still, and Nobal is losing his shape completely, trying to throw everything at the delivery but making cardinal sin of missing it.
Prosper moving in, bows to Nobal, who is a lot steadier as he stands up straight, keeps his wits about him, and just plays back to the bowler on the bounce. And there's no run. It's amazing how as you present yourself to the delivery, it affects your outer.
Definitely, definitely.
And it's a game that is so technical. You need to be so still at the crease as you face the delivery, even as you receive it. Prosper moving into Nobal. Nobal is getting a short one. It's down the leg side. He's looking to hook, but it's too far away from him because he had gotten inside it. But he does get the wide, so his side's total will go up by 1 to 17. But he stays on 2. Prosper going short on this occasion. He's got the solitary slip, so I think he perhaps needs to be operating on the other side on the off stump. He comes in, bowls to Nobal. Nobal is driving down to the mid-on fielder, who comes quickly in and fires the return, but there's enough time for Nobal to get his third run and take the total to 18 at the end of 3 overs. So a quiet response by the Laborie Pride. They're in search of 167.
Yes, good response from quiet response really, but good response in terms of defending their total from the Soufriere Stompers. They've started well and are putting some pressure on the batting of the Laborie Credit Union, Laborie Pride. After 3 overs, in comparison, the Stumpers, they were 29 without loss, and the Laborie Credit Union, Laborie Pride, they just 18 without loss. So they're falling behind, and they will need to step on the gas. But it's nothing to concern themselves about too early.
Best will continue, or is that a bowling change? It does look like a
bowling change.
Bowling change as delivery that's played in the air. It goes to Mesmin, but he is picking it up on the bounce. And so we got a bowling change. Is that Dwight Thomas who's picking up the ball? Does look like Thomas. Does he bowl seamer?
To my mind, Dwight Thomas is one who bowled the off breaks. I'm not sure. Let me just confirm who this is.
Yes, so we can tell you that it is in fact a bowling change because Bronte Best was the man who came from that end initially. Delivery that is outside the off stump, hit high in the air. A possibility of a catch for the long off fielder who comes in. He takes it. Mesmin settling himself on the lofted shot. It went high in the air, but he had it well judged. He came in and he had it covered all the time, and in the end taking a very comfortable catch. So it is the loss of Nobal as he's gone, caught off the. In fact, it's Abraham who's gone. Big shot out, looking to clear long off, finding the long off who came off the boundary, and the dismissal of Stephen Abraham, caught at long off, and it's 19 for 1.
Clemson Trues is the bowler, and Stephen Abraham was gone, caught Shanai Mesmin, the captain, and we're seeing that the catching has improved significantly under the lights. One would think it would be more difficult to catch under the lights, but it seemed to be easier catching under the lights. It's the reverse here. And a good catch taken here by Mesmin, settled under it and took it.
Indeed, with Abraham looking to go aerial, we saw him clear the boundary in that general area earlier in the innings. It was more in over the extra cover region, but this time perishing at off. As St. Rose moves in, bowls down the leg side, wide call. As Theo Edward, I think, is that Theo Edward was come in. Number 1, yes, that's Theo Edward getting a delivery down the leg side, playing inside of it, and wide being called. So 20 for 1. as St. Rose bowls to Edward. Edward is back and plays it down to third man, who comes off the boundary, so he gets off the mark with the single. 21 for 1. This is over number 4. St. Rose with the early wicket in his spell of Abraham, as no strike. St. Rose moving in, goes to Nobal. Nobal is again with the head going towards the onside, and the stroke outside the off stump, not making contact, but is in a little bit of difficulty, perhaps with the left leg. Now he's flat on his back, flexing that left leg, and maybe a case of the violence of the stroke taking its toll, Clivers.
Definitely so. And not for the first time this evening, he's really attempted a violent effort at hitting the ball. And could very well be cramp as well, just setting in there with St. Rose. It did not make any contact with the ball, so we know he didn't get hit. Really, so just the effort that he would put in. It looks like he is struggling with that. He's actually limping now.
Yes, very gingerly, as he is looking to go back to continue the innings, but he has tended to lose his shape, and he's tended to look for maybe a little too much power rather than technique. And of course, you know, there's a tendency to put a lot of power, but it's not really about power. It's about getting into the right position and timing the ball.
Absolutely.
Batting, a very technical sport, or an aspect of the game. Well, the game overall, very technical. Nobal continues as St. Rose moves in, bowls to him. Top edge, down to third man, will fall safely over the fielders in the ring and mopped up by the fielder coming from the third man boundary. So Nobal, it's been an unhappy knock from him. He gets 1, he goes to 5, and at the non-strikers then he's flat on his buttocks, as he again is favoring that injury to the left leg. In fact, he's pulling off the pads now, and will get some assistance from the dressing room. And so Nobal is really struggling there.
He's certainly struggling, and in that last delivery, just beaten for pace, if you ask me. And now he's limped his way to the non-strikers end, and he's flat on his back now. He seemed to be having a really tough time with that left leg, Tristan Nobal. And just for the interest of moving the game along, he probably should go out and get some treatment and allow somebody else to come in, really in the interest of moving the game along.
Yes, indeed. In fact, we saw Tennessee Hippolyte retiring hurt in the previous innings, and so that is an option for Nobal. But I suppose it depends on the seriousness of the injury. He's getting it assessed now from someone from the dressing room, so I guess with the ongoing assessment, they'll make a determination of whether he should continue, or whether, as you suggest, that it may be best to bring in some fresh legs and continue the innings.
Definitely so, but already the breaks have been put on the scoring, and with the dismissal of Stephen Abraham, things have slowed down considerably. They're only going at 5.74 and over now, and the required rate has climbed to close to 9 and over. And if they continue in that vein, I'm sure they will find themselves in a spot of bother early on.
So, looks like Nobal is going to remain with assistance, attention from the dressing room. He's gotten his game on, and he is going to continue. Of course, we'll be monitoring him to see how he goes, and it would be an ongoing assessment of whether it makes sense for him to be out there. Delivery, that is down the leg side to Theo Edward. He comes off of something. It beats the keeper and it will go into the boundary, I think, ahead of Dwight Thomas, who is maybe suggesting that he was able to pull it back as the umpire signals wide. So I think they would have taken 3 because it's Nobel now in strike. So overall, I think that will count for 4 with the wide. So 22 for 1. No, in fact, it's gone to 25. 25 for 1. As St. Rose comes in, bows to Nobel down the leg side, looking to clip it. But it's out of range and out of the reach of the batsman as well, because the umpire again calls wide. So successive wides there by St. Rose, running in hard, but not getting it on target. Needs to be a lot closer to the off stump line because he's angling it into the right-hander. St. Rose moves in, bows to Nobel. Nobel is making another violent swish at it outside the off stump and doesn't make contact, and the ball going into the gloves of the keeper to complete over number 5. At the end of it, it is 28 for 1. The Soufriere, the Laborie Pride, they are in search of 167.
Is it 28 or 26?
Not sure. It looks like 26 to me.
It's 26 for 1 after 4 overs, really. And again, Clem St. Rose did not finish that over well, giving up these wides, but certainly started the over well. It took 3. So it is actually 27 for 1, and you were correct when you made that call. They took 3 on that wide. So 27 for 1 after 4 overs. Successful over from St. Rose.
Prosper starts over number 5. Balls to Edward, who plays a little naughty shot outside the off stump, looking to dab it away. And luckily for him, no touch. It goes to the keeper. So 27 for 1. So the Laborie Pride, they are scoring at a rate that is 6.75. Prosper moving in, bows to Edward. Edward is back when he might have been forward. He would suggest that the ball is skipping a little low, but maybe one that should have brought him onto the front foot. As again it goes into the gloves of the keeper. So 2 dot balls to start over number 5. A little long range encouragement from Nobel at Zen. Edward waits. Prosper at the top of his mark, runs away from us, moves in, bowls to Edward. Edward is driving, makes contact on this occasion, goes through the fielder at backward point, and they come back for 2. So 2 that take the total to 29. The scoreboard is showing 28, but been informed by the official scorers that it's actually 29. Prosper at the top of his mark inside the field restricting circle, moves away from us. Will bowl now to Edward. Edward is looking to pull and has been bowled. It looks like a delivery, as we said earlier, that was just not short enough to go for that type of stroke, and an indication of that is that the ball has hit the top of leg stump. And a misjudgment there by Edward finds that he's been bowled, and the second wicket going down. Edward bowled by Prosper for 3, and in the 5th over it's 28 for 2.
Certainly 29 actually for 2. The scoreboard is 1 behind, but Edward, he was not getting the sort of deliveries for him to play off the back foot, and you called it before, where he should have been playing forward and should not have been looking to pull this one a full delivery on the line of the stumps, and he pulled across it, and of course his leg stump being pegged back as a consequence. So a poor short choice from young Theo Edward on this occasion.
Yes, and disappointing. So the end of Edward. 28, 29. So one Edward being replaced by another. So Owen coming in to replace Theo. And Owen with that characteristic or the very distinct bow legs, and so it's not difficult to identify him. He goes down now as a delivery that is looking to pull and caught at mid-wicket. So successive wickets for Prosper. Owen Edward, first delivery, short and looking to pull, but straight to the mid-wicket fielder. And all of a sudden, Prosper has gone bang bang with the Laborie Pride losing the wickets of the two Edward namesakes. So first it was the young Edward bowled, and then Owen Edward, first delivery, pulling and caught at short mid-wicket. Laborie Pride, 29 for 3.
Yes, not good for Laborie, and chasing a reasonable total, if not a low total by any stretch, and they really are put on the back foot. And this double strike by Wayne Prosper is exactly what Captain Shanai Mesmin would want, and certainly Laborie Pride under some pressure here. Last night they had a good fighting game against the Monrepo Pioneers, and this evening they really, at this point, rolling over as Prosper is running riot in the top order.
Indeed. So, Vac is now on a hat-trick with 2 successive wickets in as many balls. So, bit of excitement in the play there as Wayne Prosper on a hat-trick moves into the new batsman. To this delivery, it is down the leg side. They are peeling, but it's going down the leg side for sure. And you could understand the excitement of the players that with a possibility of the hat-trick, they will go up for anything that hits the pad. But it was clearly
going down the leg side. It was
clearly good over with 2 wickets.
2 wickets, a fantastic
by
over from Wayne Prosper, and really exactly what Captain Shanai Mesmin would have wanted, exactly what the doctor ordered for the Soufriere Stompers, and getting back into the thick of things, and a great over from Prosper.
Indeed, as it's Denley Anthony who has come in to replace Owen Edward, correction. So Denley Anthony, number 59. But it's going to be St. Rose to continue as he goes to Nobal, who places up to the mid-on region and will get a single that takes the total to 30 for 3. This is over number 6. Anthony will now take his guard as he is going to face St. Rose for the first time. So 167 is the target. St. Rose moving nicely in balls to Anthony. Anthony is back but beaten outside the off stump as St. Rose is landing on good areas just on about the off stump, top of off, and just eluding the stumps. So good examination of the technique and the temperament of Anthony, who is facing a challenge now with the required rate going up all the time. St. Rose moving in, balls to Anthony. Anthony is back and sees the ball a little wider of off stump on this occasion and showing good judgment, pulling the bat away as the ball was wider and going further away. I like the look of St. Rose, who's bustling in, and certainly to Anthony, hitting good areas. If he could just keep that off stump line, it should be interested. Interesting. He's got support with a solitary slip. He moves in, goes to Anthony. Anthony is with a big drive outside the off stump. Too wide. The umpire says wide. St. Rose is not happy with the call, almost saying, man, what's that?
Definitely, I think
the umpire is in control. He has said wide, so it is wide. It has to be rebowled. St. Rose looking to really enjoy his bowling, moving in, bowls to Anthony. Anthony is driving outside the off stump. Good delivery, a lot closer to the off stump. And this has been a good over from St. Rose, Clivers. I like the fact that he has been on about the off stump. Two of them have been a little wide, but I like, the area in which he's bowling with the solitary slip. It's quite exciting.
And the length as well. The slip is in business and should expect anything because he's really probing outside of stump.
St. Rose moving in, bowls to Anthony. Anthony is driving off the edge, but away from the slip and then down to third man for a single. I can hardly contain myself. Just good stuff, just hitting the off stump area there.
Yes, I can see the excitement as well. Yes. If the captain should, I would invest in a second slip. If he can be consistent around that off stump area, I definitely would invest in a second slip for him.
Definitely, and just the consistency of the deliveries in the area. Delivery outside off stump, big drive. This time is no ball, and it goes into the gloves of the keeper. So a high five from the players for St. Rose at the end of what I think is a very impressive over. The seamer coming in, running purposefully in, and hitting the seam on about the off stump. So good over from St. Rose. At the end of it, it is 32 for 3, 6 overs completed.
Excellent over from St. Rose, and he's following his over where he took a wicket now, and he's now coming back with a very, very good over. Just 3 runs coming out of that over from St. Rose. He was bowling a very probing length outside of off stump and very deceptive in his pace as well, Clem St. Rose. So good stuff from the fast bowler.
Yes, in fact, this is a name that I'll pencil in because I really do like the looks of him. Just the manner in which he's come up to the stumps and the consistency of his line and length. He's at long on now as long leg correction as Prosper starts a new over and sends Anthony back, and there's no run. So 32 for 3. 32 for 3 is the
end of the power play. So it's not a very impressive power play by any stretch. All of 18 runs behind in comparison to where the Stompers were, and a lot of pressure being exerted on the batting lineup of the Laborie Pride.
Prosper for the Soufriere Stompers goes away from us, bowls to Anthony. Anthony is hitting that in the air and dropped by Emmanuel, diving away at the short position. They take 1, but the energetic Emmanuel diving away two-handed and for some reason just couldn't hold on. But another valiant and energetic effort from Emmanuel, a real live wire in the field.
And he's
33.
He's got the color of shoes to match his energy as well.
Oh yes,
neon shoes, very bright.
Very bright. You can't miss him, and I think that color would probably have been deliberately chosen as he comes in now. Prosper goes to Nobal again, favoring the onside as we've seen him do, and not making contact. This is a delivery a little outside the off stump, really requiring a straight bat to come into the offside. But Nobal has been favoring the onside. He has not been successful. The total remains on 33 for 3. This is over number 7. Prosper moving in to Nobal. Nobal to this delivery is struck on the pad, a big appeal and given. So finally, Nobal being dismissed here as playing a lot across the line On this occasion, the delivery that was pitched up to him, it was angled in and struck on the pad. Prosper going up with the appeal, and the umpire agreeing that that perhaps would have been hitting leg stump. So the end of no ball, going LBW to Prosper for, didn't quite get his total, but it's 33.
It's only 6 runs. It's 6 no ball.
Out of how many balls?
It's 18 deliveries. Yeah. It's been a long time, and just for the 6 runs. And again, you see a Prosper hitting those areas where he's not getting the bounce. The ball is not really bouncing, and the batsman, similar to the dismissal of Edward, P.O. Edward, just hitting across the line of this one. I thought once he was in front and the umpire judged him to be in front, he was plumb, because height was never an issue there.
Indeed. So Wayne Prosper, this is his 3rd wicket, so he has done extremely well for the Stumpers, as they're putting real pressure on the Laborie, and hurting their pride.
Definitely hurting the pride of the pride. Good call there, Claudius.
Yes. So Laborie under some strife here, or in some strife, as Prosper moves in, bows to the new batter, who is coming forward and playing into the offside. Looks like Donan Edward, number 10. So Donan Edward is the new man in, and together with Anthony, they've got their work cut out for them.
They definitely have a job on the task on their hands there. They have fallen well behind. The asking rate has gone past 10 and over now, and Prosper is really about to complete an excellent spell. He's taken 3 wickets, and again he is asking questions on Edward, just turning him into the onside for a single.
Indeed. So the end of over number 7, as Prosper getting high fives, actually low fives, low fives from his teammates for the end of a good spell. So I think that would be his quarter. So we have had 7 overs, so I make it 7 straight for Prosper. Is that correct?
It's four straight for Prosper, and at the end of the 4 straight is 3 for 9. So excellent returns from Wayne Prosper, and the skipper Mesmin would have done the right thing to keep him on, because he was really not going for runs, and adding to that, he was taking wickets. So excellent returns for him. He has had a fantastic day.
Fantastic spell. 4-0-9-3. 4 was no more than 3 for 9. Great stuff from Wayne Prosper, as it's going to be Clem St. Rose who is going to move in now. Balls to Edward. Edward is struck on the pad, is he? Or is he getting a leading edge? Down to 3rd man anyway. And no signal from the umpire. So we'll have to say that has come off the pad.
Of the bat.
Correction, yes. Of the bat. As Donan Edward goes to 2. But again, Clem St. Rose on that off-stump line and hitting the edge of Edward down to 3rd man. Surprisingly, the slip has been taken away. St. Rose moving in, balls to Anthony. Anthony to this delivery. He's getting a short delivery and hooked away down to backward square leg. The fielder is posted, and he will come across to his right to field. And there's no run. There is 1-1, correction. 1 to Anthony. He goes to 3. St. Rose, surprisingly, coming out of the good areas, bowling short and being hooked away by Anthony. Edward is a new batsman. Let's see what he does as he comes briskly in. St. Rose bowls to Edward. Edward is getting a straight delivery. Once a single, has to go back. The return comes in from the short mid-wicket, misses the stumps. And Edward had to go back. Didn't get any response from Anthony.
Claudius, I'd like to make a point here. We see Clemson throws a lot straighter now, and it's probably because the captain has removed the slips for him. And the captain will be, he's a fantastic over with the slips. Instead of reinforcing the slip cordon, he's removed the slip and he's a lot straighter now and going for runs now.
Yes, sent Rose to Edward into the leg stump and clipped away by the right-hander out to long on for a single as Anthony comes in to strike. So Edward goes to 3. And interesting observation there, Clivers, because we were really commending him in the previous over where he was on the off stump getting movement, but the slip has been pulled away. Sent Rose to Anthony. Anthony is getting one that is into the leg stump, clipped away in the air, down to backward square, over the head of the fielder inside the circle. The one from the boundary is coming in to pick up. And there's one. So St. Rose having to bowl a lot straighter onto the stumps and being clipped into the offside. Would love to see him still stay just a little outside the off stump. The keeper can still come into play. St. Rose moving in, goes to Edward. Edward is getting a delivery on the stump. It's back of a length. And he gets one into the short backward point region. Diving with the fielding is Dwight Thomas as the over is completed. So 8 gone and 38, or is that 39?
39 for 4.
39 for 4 after 8.
And in comparison, the Soufriere Stompers after 8 overs, they were 65 for 2. And really and truly, the Laborie pride, the pride has been dented significantly. They've fallen behind in the runs column. They've also lost a few more wickets. The Laborie pride, and again, you see the Laborie pride, the batting pair of Edward and Anthony. They're not putting a lot of pressure. You see them hitting the ball all the way into the outfield and just ambling for one, not even making an effort or looking interested in the two to put a little bit of pressure on the fielding. So it's just easy going for the Laborie pride as well as in fact the two batters of the Laborie pride team. Shanai
Mesmin brings himself on for over number 9. He moves in, bowls to Edward. Edward looking to hoik that away over square leg, but does not make contact. The umpire signaling wide. So one more to the total, 40 for 4. This is over number 9. So the Laborie pride is struggling here, losing wickets at 19 for 1, 29 for 2, 29 for 3, 33 for 4. Mesmin bowls to Edward. Edward has lofted that out over mid-wicket. 6 runs into the Johnson Charles stand. Good blow by Donan Edward. It was onto the leg side and lofted over mid-wicket. The fielder was interested because it was in the air, but it sailed over his head about maybe 10 rows back into the stand. And so 6 runs to Donan Edward. He goes to double figures. He's 10. It's 46 for 4. The Laborie pride, they need many such strikes.
They need a lot more of that. And Shanai Mesmin a little bit too straight on that occasion, and Donan Edward just helping it, and the wind doing the rest of the work, getting it into the Johnson Charles stand.
Mesmin away from us, bowls to Edward. Edward is just on the walk, playing back towards Mesmin in the follow through, who picks up. So Donan Edward is not a big man, but he was able to get onto that, timing it nicely, sailing with the wind out onto the western side of the ground. Mesmin moving in, bowls to Edward. Edward is struck on the pad. Wants a single. He's stranded, but has to go back as Anthony is not interested in the run. The ball being picked up in the short third man region. So no run. Edward remains on 10. 46 4. So this is a very slow rate of scoring. The requirement is significant, so the required rate also big. Delivery that's down the leg side, beats the keeper, and it will go into the boundary at fine leg for 4 leg byes now signaled by the umpire. So 46 now, 50 coming up, in fact, 50 now with the boundary off the pad. And so the Laborie Pride, they get to a milestone, but it's really not something to celebrate so much. 5.77 the current rate. They need 10.32.
Yes, they certainly need a lot, and Shana Mesmin can count himself lucky in that it clipped the pass, because it was really a hit me for a runs ball that was bowled to Edward, and Edward really in the Dickies could have easily capitalized on that.
Mesmin to Edward off the back foot, looking to punch that into the backward point region, perhaps not making contact into the gloves of the keeper. So a dot ball recorded. So 50 coming up in the 9th over, and the Laborie Pride not getting a good power play in, and needing a lot of work to do. Mesmin moving in, both to Edward. Edward is on the walk, looking to clip it away, but finds Mesmin in the follow through, who does the fielding and registers a dot ball at the end of the over. Over number 9 completed, with the Laborie Pride looking to get 167. They're 4 for 50.
Yes, certainly a big ask, and the asking rate, as we talk about ask, has gone up to 10.6, and they really need to get a move on, need a few more lusty blows, need one or both of these batsmen at the crease to begin to up the ante. You have Denley Anthony, who's been there for quite some time. He's on 4. He's consumed 9 balls, and Edward has picked up his scoring. His strike rate is 83.33. I would want to continue improving on that.
So, looks like we've got a bowling change at the far end as Anthony faces the delivery that's short and missed outside the off stump. Number 2, looks like number 2. So Bradley Tisson, yeah, number 2. So Tisson coming in, and short and wide the first delivery. So Anthony missing out. Tisson moving in to Anthony. Anthony's driving out towards long off, who is posted, and that's gone through. Captain Mesmin making a meal of that. And the question is, with some excitement in the crowd, whether that has crossed the boundary. In fact, he's saying yes. And credit to him for being fair with the fact that it has gone over the boundary. So, plus here for Mesmin. Not a good piece of fielding, but just the fact that he was honest enough to indicate to the umpire that it has gone over.
Showing good sportsmanship.
Absolutely. Delivery that is on about leg stump and pushed into offside. Another misfield. This time it's Dwight Thomas, perhaps a little too eager to pick up and throw, because it was just a single. And one more to the total. So 55 now for 4. And it's quite remarkable, Clivers, that the crowd is very quiet, and just the excitement of the mistake.
Everybody's
going up. As to bowl them is Don and Edward. Tisson hitting the leg stump of Edward, looking to go for a maximum. A delivery that was right up to him, missing and crashing into leg stump to bring about the dismissal of Don and Edward, going bowled by Tisson for 10, and Laborie Pride 55 for 5.
Much more pressure being applied here, and Don and Edward, one would have expected him to stick around with Denley Anthony, but something had to give Claudius, where the two were not pushing for the runs between the wicket, and I don't know that you could ask Denley Anthony to push harder than he's already pushing there. and Donald Edward just felt the need to go for the big heave out toward mid-wicket, going across the line of a straight delivery, and Bradley Tiso, credit to him, he kept it on the line of the stumps, and he was rewarded with the leg stump of Donald Edward being pegged back.
Excellent bowling indeed. So with the end of the 9th over, or was that the 10th over? Because we do have the strategic time out now.
We'll take the break. Yeah.
Yes, just checking as to the exact state in terms of overs. We do have the time
9.5.
9.5, so
Yes.
9.3. And so with the loss of Donald Edward, the umpires calling for the mid-innings break. So 55 for 5. And the Laborie Pride, they have not put up a good performance at all. We saw a very weak power play from them, and as I indicated earlier, just losing wickets regularly, Clivers. 19, 29, 29, 33, and then 55. So just not really setting a good platform for what is in fact a significant target, 167.
It's a huge target, and now it looks insurmountable from this vantage point. Unless a minor miracle happens, somebody has to come and play a gem of an innings to get them out of the hole that they have dug themselves in, Claudius. So really, somebody would definitely have to put their hand up for this Pride team and say, I will, and show some intent, because the captain, Denny Anthony, hasn't shown the intent with the bat, and Donald Edward was under pressure looking to go big and unable to do so.
But as we look at the Laborie Pride setup, perhaps is there any of the remaining batsmen that we can look to suggest, who can maybe push things along for the Laborie Pride?
Last evening, Canis Richardson came in on the late side and struck a few lusty blows. Canis Richardson, you could probably look to Arlene Prosper. I'm not sure if he's in today. I didn't see him with the ball, so maybe he's not in. But Canis Richardson certainly is one who can come in and make a difference for them.
Well, we await that as the new batsman has come in, number 7. So number 7 batsman has come in, and it's going to be Richardson, the self-same Richardson, as you called it, Clivers. So he has come in, number 66, as Tisson moves in, bows to Richardson. Richardson is struck on the pad, a big appeal, and the umpire says not out. My word, that looked very, very close. Jamal James joins us. What say you, Jamal?
Yes, good evening, Claudius, and good evening to you.
Of course, powered by the National Lotteries Authority. So here with me before the final game for today, I have the team manager of Akel City Blasters. So how are you doing?
I'm very excited and ready to go.
So, ready excited and ready to go. So what are we expecting from the Akel City Blasters?
Well, our team is a mix of experience and youth. We've always done well in this competition. Of course, we were the inaugural winners of this competition back in 2017. And the guys are looking forward to putting the best foot forward this evening.
Wonderful. All right. So we're looking forward to seeing a great game from you. Saying that you were the first winners. How has this whole SPLT20 series been? How have you felt about that? Coming back?
Yeah, well, we're extremely happy to see the SPL back. It has been missed. 2003, we've seen a lot of cricket though. And obviously this competition commencing, we've seen that the level of skill sets, the cricket has grown. And I'm pleased to see that most of the teams are giving a very good account of themselves. So it could only go well for cricket in St. Lucia.
Wonderful. So right now we have the second game of the day still in progression, and of course we're waiting to see who will be the champions or the victors of this game happening right now. And then directly after, we have the City Blasters versus Miku. So let's see exactly what happens. And of course, wishing you and your team the best, and most definitely going to talk to you guys after.
Thank you very much. And St. Lucia, please come out and support the cricketers. We really need your support. We're performing to an empty stand, and I think we need the support, and we could do better than that. All right.
You know how it is, people. The more, the merrier. So please come out. It's not even too late. You could come right now. The price is very reasonable. And of course, it's cricket. Everybody's playing to their full capacity. They have no side jobs or halfway thing happening here. It's a real serious game. And of course, lots of excitement. So he has to leave to prep his team because they need to warm up to start in just a bit.
Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So people, thank you so much for keeping it tuned in. Hey, don't go anywhere because we're heading right back to the field. This is the KFC SPLT20 happening right now at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds in Bosejo.
Mesmin moving in, balls to Richardson, drives down to long off, catch not taken, right through the hands of the fielder. And not sure whether that went into the boundary or over it. We know that the catch was not taken and it has fallen inside the rope. Bradley Tisson is the man who didn't take that catch. So a letter for Richardson. Mesmin continuing. Moves in now, goes to Richardson, who is looking to dab it away down to third man, but is unsuccessful as the total goes with the boundary to 61 for 5. So we have seen a number of catches put down, especially in the first innings. We had about 4 of them put down. Tisson making a meal of that. Mesmin moving in, balls to Richardson. Richardson back cutting straight to Emmanuel on the edge of the square, and the over comes to an end. So at the end of it, 61 for 5, and that is the latest at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground.
Yes, a catch going down there from Bradley Tisson. I think that he's a cricketer who prides himself on his fielding, but he approached the catch quite casually, and this one just bursting through his hands. And Mesmin would have counted himself lucky to have taken that wicket, because this was a ball which was right in the slot for Denley, and then he should have really have done better with that delivery.
So over number 11 completed as it's going to be the new over shot over the head of the, in fact, cotton bowled. So Richardson looking to pull as the 12 over has started. Tisson coming in with the new over and the top edge going back to Tisson. So cotton bowled, gleefully accepted, and Tisson picking up his second wicket. Richardson going cotton bowled, Tisson, and they fall off wicket number 6 for the Laborie Pride.
Yes, cricket's certainly a beautiful game, and we describe it as a game of shifting fortunes. Bradley Tisson would have just spilled what we would call a simple catch on the boundary, and most certainly his team would have been disappointed with his effort, and one ball later comes into the attack and takes a wicket for his team. The seesaw of life, Glorious.
Absolutely. And does call for some character as well, because when it does go bad initially, Jamal, if you're not able to hold your nerve, it can deteriorate. But it's nice to see that he's able to bounce back and be focused in terms of coming into bowl and doing the additional work of backpedaling and going towards completing the catch. And in the end, he will argue, perhaps I did it all by myself, cotton bowl. and enjoying the dismissal. So 6 wickets are down as Tisson is going to continue. The new batter, number 8, François. Michael François, the right-hander, waits as Tisson moves into this delivery. He's struck on the pan, the big appeal. Tisson is celebrating, and rightly so. A very belated and slow-moving finger from umpire Ashby eventually goes airborne, and so the end of the batsman. A very brief stay indeed. François, first of all, duck, and Bradley Tisson on a hat-trick.
Yes, Bradley Tisson here really coming to the party for his team. This one was full and straight, and the new batter just playing across the line of this one, possibly looking for the single to get his senior partner on strike, just overbalancing a bit here and possibly even beating for pace as well. So Bradley Tisson picks up another wicket for his team, and the hopes of the Laborie Pride surely severely dented at this point.
Indeed, and talk about from 0 to hero, it gets even better for Tisson because now he's on a hat-trick.
Yes, and I think earlier on in today's game, Tyrell Chico was on a hat-trick as well. So it would be a wonderful thing if Bradley Tisson can actually get the job done. And this is what you want as a fast bowler. You come in and you clean up the tail. So let's see what Bradley Tisson can do.
As the new batter, number 13, Saint-Ange. So Saint-Ange is going to be the man to face the music. Tisson with the wickets of Richardson and François in successive balls. Richardson cotton bowl, and François being trapped. LBW first ball. Slip, wide slip being posted as Tisson on a hat-trick will move in to Saint-Ange. Saint-Ange to this delivery is getting one that is back of length and is in behind it as he plays it into the short mid-wicket region. Perhaps Tisson there might have gone for a fuller length delivery, looking for the LBW on the board.
Yes, I was just thinking the same. Usually when bowlers have the opportunity for the hat-trick, they go full and straight for the stump. The line was right, but didn't get the right length.
Tisson moving in bowls to be that type of length would have been good the previous one. And in a portion of the bat of Saint-Ange, it goes into the forward square position, and the fielding completed. So Saint-Ange remains on naught, 61 for 7. This is over number 12. We are halfway through it. Tisson moving in, bowls to Saint-Ange. Saint-Ange is back, the ball keeping a little low. Keeper having some difficulty in taking it cleanly. And another dot ball in the books as Tisson goes back to his mark. Tisson 3 for 5 in his second over. We saw Prosper picking up 3 for 9 from his 4. Tisson moving in, bowls to Saint-Ange. Saint-Ange is getting a good delivery. He's back across his stumps and playing quietly back to Tisson, who picks up at the onside of the wicket to complete the over. 12 completed. The Laborie Pride looking for 167. They need a further 106 from 8 overs left. A tall order indeed.
Yes, and it is still mathematically possible, but it seems highly improbable, Claudius, because the quality of bowling on display from the Soufriere Stompers, it's seemingly too good for the Laborie Pride lower order at this point.
Indeed. So Bradley Tisson goes off. Mesmin moving in, bowls to Anthony, and Anthony with a big drive, not making contact. So Tisson goes off previous over, bringing in figures of 2 overs, 3 for 5. And the last over, he was in a hat trick, didn't concede a run, so double wicket maiden for Bradley Tisson. Great stuff. Mesmin moving in, Anthony back to a delivery that is on target and can do no more but play it back into Mesmin. So the Laborie Pride not going anywhere here. They're scoring at 5.08, required rate 13 plus. As Mesmin, the captain, he'll be very happy with the proceedings as he goes away from us. Bows to Anthony. Anthony to this delivery is wanting a single. Is off the track. The return coming in from Mesmin. It beats the keeper, and some overthrows will take place as the ball is being picked up on the third man boundary. So in the end, Anthony gets the single and he goes to the non-strikers end. So he goes to 10. Or is that 16? So 16 to Denley Anthony as David St. Ash comes into strike. Over number 13 being bowled by the Soufriere Stumpers captain, with the rag flapping away in the back of his trousers. Comes in, bowls to St. Ash, clipping out towards straightish mid-wicket quite nicely to get off the mark and to bring one more to the total. 63 for 7. So Mesmin will be happy with that, and quite rightly so. The Laborie Pride is, you'd have to say, not really pressured the Soufriere Stumpers captain in any significant ways. Had it all his way, you'll have to say, as he comes in now. Bows to Anthony. Anthony is hoiking that out towards mid-wicket. Possibility of a catch. It's over the head of the fielder and over the boundary as well for 6. It was a close thing as the fielder came across to his right. A tantalizing situation, jumping at the last moment and finding the ball going over the outstretched right arm and over the boundary for 6. So 22 now to Anthony. Good blow by him. He needs a lot more of this. Mesmin to Anthony. Anthony is going this time offside, airborne, and going, just eluding Dwight Thomas, who was coming on the edge of the circle at backward point. You thought that it was just close to him that he might have taken a dive, but maybe it was a little further away as Thomas had to pick up in the end from the boundary, towards the boundary. So 71 for 7 as the 13th over is completed. The Laborie Pride is still require some 98 runs.
And yes, Claudius, I think in that previous over we just had a case of the commentator's curse, because you would have just mentioned that everything was going the way of the Soufriere Stumpers captain, Shanai Mesmin, and just as you said that, he was lofted over deep mid-wicket for a 6, and opportunity for a catch there barely over the head of Dwight Thomas. But in comes Bradley Tisson, who has had his way over proceedings.
Indeed, he comes in now, bowls to St. Ash. St. Ash is walking across his stumps and playing back to the bowler. So Tisson with the wickets of Donnan Edward, Richardson and François turns at the top of his mark. This is his third over as he moves in, bowls to St. Ash. St. Ash is across his stumps and clipping out towards forward square. They've taken one. He wants a second. He's coming, but Anthony had no interest in the second. He had actually turned his back on St. Ash, who had to put on the brakes and go back into his crease. Of course, Anthony looking to be in strike as he's been there for a longer period of time and sort of backs himself as maybe the one to look to get the boundaries. He's on 13. Tisson looking to prize him out, moves in, bowls to Anthony. Anthony is back, hits it out towards extra cover, the sweeper and the long off, converging on it, but it's the long off fielder who picks up and gets the bounce return low into keeper. So 2 more to Denley Anthony. He goes to 15. Correction, he's in fact on 26. He's on 26, 74. 74 for 7. Tisson from the southern end, moving in, bowls to Anthony. Anthony's backing away and hitting the non-striker, in fact. The ricochet almost been picked up by Tisson, looking to throw the stumps down. But I think St-Ange was able to quickly get himself back into the crease. So Tisson not bothering to break the stumps down. He'll move in once again to Anthony. Anthony to this delivery is advancing and lofting down towards long off. It eventually reaches him on the ground. And just a single. If the bounce return coming back into Tisson. So 1-1 to the total. 75 for 7. 27 with the single is the score for Anthony. Daisy St-Ange is in strike. Is 2 from 7. Anthony 26 from 25. Third man going from the edge of the circle to the boundary as Bradley Tisson moves in, bowls to St-Ange. St-Ange is down the track and gets a full delivery, squeezes it out towards long off. Anthony initially wants the second, then says wait, and the batsmen stay on 1. So the over is completed, the 14th of the innings. At the end of it, the Laborie Pride, there's 76 for 7 with 27 to Anthony and 3 to St-Ange.
Yes, and this rate just keeps climbing and climbing. It's now at 15.17. And just looking at this partnership, I think that Denley Anthony really represents the last hope for the Pride, because his partner has shown the ability to survive and keep out the good bowling from the Stompers, but has not shown that he has the ability to give them the boundaries required. So it all rests on the shoulders of Denley Anthony at the moment.
So, over number 15, about to start, and it looks like we're going to have a bowling change. Has got number 12, Dalius Monrose, as the new man coming into the bowling crease. So Dalius Monrose, number 12, and he's going to be bowling to St-Ange, who gets a delivery wide of off stump and flashes at it but does not make contact. So Monrose moving in, looks like some off spin, but it's delivery that's very wide of off stump, wide now signaled by the umpire. Monrose with a very low arm, not exactly like Patty Rana or his predecessor outside the off stump, and there's no run, not quite as horizontal as Malinga or Patty Rana, but it's certainly not very orthodox. Monrose moving in, bowls to St-Ange. St-Ange is beaten outside the off stump and stumped. So coming down the track and walking past the delivery, and nicely taken by the keeper, was whipped off the bails. So the end of St-Ange going off the bowling of Monrose, stumped for 3, and in the 15th over it is 77 for 8 with St-Ange going off the bowling of Monrose.
Very good bowling here from Dalius Monrose. When the off spinner is operating from this end, things are slightly against him when bowling to the right-handers. And Dalius Monrose, as you mentioned, just lowering his arm, trying to undercut the ball, really not trying to spin it. So he just kept pushing these balls outside the line of the off stump asking the batter to do something different, and this is what he did. He tried to come down the wicket at Monroe's, but beaten there by some guile from the off spinner, and another wicket down for the Laborie Pride.
So Tracy Peter looks like the delivery that the first to him is a little wide of off stump, and he's looking to put some bat on it. Is not successful, as Monroe's will continue this delivery on the stumps. Full toss, hit away out into the onside. The sweeper Emmanuel comes off the boundary at mid wicket and gets the return into the keeper. So one more to the total as Peter gets off the mark. 78 for 8. Monroe's with the angular run comes in, bowls to Anthony. Anthony lofts that, a catch possibly. No, it's over the head of long off. 6 runs. Another mighty strike from Anthony. Pitched up delivery from Monroe's, and the muscular figure of Anthony getting under it and lofting it over the head of the long off fielder for a maximum. He goes to 33 at the end of the over and taking the Laborie Pride to 84 for 8.
Yes, the lone soldier for the Laborie Pride, Denley Anthony, is still fighting. This one from Monroe's clearly overpitched. He landed this one in the slot, and Denley, equal to the task, just lofting this one over the head of long off for a lovely 6, I might add. Usually we see batters when facing the off spinners, the right-handers, lofting the ball over long on. So it shows that there is some class in the batting of Denley Anthony.
Indeed, getting on to that and lofting it away. So he's gone to 33. So from a personal point of view, I think he would be happy with what has transpired from his bat, but of course would not be happy with the team effort because they are slipping into a certain defeat here because they require from here on in 16.6 runs per over, and it's virtually impossible. With just the 2 wickets left, it is not going to be something that we are going to see here at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. Gassi has been introduced as he will come in now to Peter. Peter Bolden right up, and a very loose looking, very timid stroke I should say from Peter, and Gassi really with a great result. Their first delivery knocking back the off stump of Tracy Peter to signal the 9th wicket going down for the Laborie Pride. So everything Mesmen touches turns to gold, Jamal James.
Yes, and we've seen that after teams have not done well in the initial games, they shake off the rust, and in the second games they do very well. The Soufriere team looking like a force to be reckoned with at this point. And Kevin Gassi, we understand that he does have the skill, he does have what it takes. He has been recognized at the youth level. He has been a member of the national and regional teams, both the under 17 and under 19. And the batters at the lower end of the order are generally not technically equipped for run scoring or even survival against high quality bowling. And high quality bowling, this is what Kevin Gassi represents.
So looks like Theodore was coming, Trian Theodore, and he's the number 11 batsman. And just to bring the game to conclusion, we've got still 4.5 overs, but I think we are close to the end. There's the delivery that is down the leg side. Good take by the keeper, wide call, and diving away there. And so one more to the total, 85 for 9. Theodore, the new man on strike, and not able to get a little bat on that. So it's been a bit of a tortuous existence at the crease for the Laborie Pride. as Gassi moves in, bowls to Theodore. Theodore is in a bit of a tangle as he's across his stumps. He's struck on the pad, maybe the thigh pad, and maybe a little painful because I'm not even sure that it does have a thigh pad. So delivery that is striking the batsman, and is a little limp as he comes back into face Gassi. Moving in, bowls to Theodore. Theodore is driving a little loosely and maybe off the wrong foot as well. The weight not really on the front foot as it should be, but I guess that's understandable. He's not a specialist batsman. Gassi looking to wrap up things here for the Stompers. They are close to victory as he moves in, bowls to Theodore. Theodore to this delivery is back and just blocking the ball in front of him, and there is no run. So a bit of a quiet conclusion to this game as we see Anthony waiting at the non-striker's end. I guess he still wants to face some more deliveries to help his personal cause. Gassi moving in, bowls to Theodore down the leg side, looking to clip it, doesn't make contact, doesn't brush anything either because umpire Ashby extends the arm saying it's a wide. So one more to the total. 85 for 9. 2 deliveries are left in the 16th over. I think Anthony would want Theodore to survive those 2 deliveries so that he can get some more opportunities to strike some lusty blows. Gassi bowls to Theodore, who is looking to swing that away on the onside. It passes just over the leg stump and into the gloves of the keeper. Anthony must be praying that he survives the next delivery so that he can be on strike at the start of over number 17. Gassi moving to Theodore. Theodore is laying bat on ball and playing it up on the onside, and there's no run. So Anthony has his wish to get some more opportunities to hit the ball because he understands that his side maybe has no chance of getting the required runs. They still require 81 with some 4 overs left.
Yes, slight disappointment there from
U.S. Polo Association is having a massive sale at both locations at the Castries and Baywalk Mall. 30 to 70% off. That's right, 30 to 70% off. Men's, ladies, and kids apparel. Now is your chance to get your favorite outfits at fantastic savings. 30 to 70% off. And it's all happening at both locations, Castries and the Baywalk Mall. U.S. Polo Association would like to thank our loyal customers for the years of support. Don't forget, 30 to 70% off. Sale starts Wednesday, October 11th.
It looks like it. Yes, so the end of the innings as a delivery from Monroe's trapping Anthony in front. And so the conclusion of the innings. So 86 all out, the Laborie Pride, with Anthony finishing on 33 and Monroe's picking up his second wicket. So in the end, a comprehensive victory by the Soufriere Stompers against the Laborie Pride. A victory by some 80 runs. I make it. I hope my maths is accurate.
It is.
Indeed. So 80-run victory by the guys from Sulphur City, the Soufriere Stompers, and the Laborie Pride, really making heavy weather of the target of 167 and falling well short. Your assessment, Jamal James, of the effort by the guys from Laborie? They've fallen well short. A combination, in my view, of some good bowling and batting that perhaps didn't really come to the party in terms of the run rate and the need to really hit the maximums to really push the scoring along.
Yes, well, in any batting lineup, there are men charged with the responsibility for delivering the runs. And once those men got out from the top of the order, it became more and more improbable that the lower order would contend successfully with the high level of quality on display from the boys from Sulphur City. Each bowler there stood up and delivered for Captain Mesmin, who did not have the best of nights last night, but whatever they did and whatever they spoke of from the management point of view, it came to fruition here tonight. And as you alluded to earlier, everything that he touched really turned to gold. And now the Soufriere team looks a force to be reckoned with in this edition of the KFC SPL.
Indeed. So victory for the Soufriere Stompers over the Laborie Pride, as we summarize the proceedings for you. So in the first innings, we had a situation where the Laborie team, they won the toss. They got to 166 for 8 with Ecstasy Manuel getting 55 and Dwight Thomas, 33. There was 18 from Prosper. And the pick up the bowlers would have been Tracy Peter with 2 for 29 and Donan Edward 1 for 20. And in reply, the Laborie Pride, they struggled all the way through, losing wickets at regular intervals. Just the only significant score coming from Anthony with 33, and just maybe the one other player getting to double figures. That came from the bat of Donan Edward, who picked up 10, and they lost wickets steadily. Tisson was perhaps they pick up the bowlers, 3 wickets for Tisson. In fact, even before him, even better figures from Wayne Prosper with the incredible figures of 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 9. So 3 for Prosper, 3 for Tisson, 2 for Monrose, and 1 for Gassi, and 1 for St. Rose. So victory by the Soufriere boys by 80 runs, and so they have gotten themselves into winning ways. So that is the conclusion of Game 6 in the SPLT20 for 2023. So this is where we are going to sign off for this particular game as we get set for the other game, which comes up in about 20 minutes time. That's game number 7, which is in fact a game between let's see that now, that's between City Blasters and Miku Eagles. So that's the next game on the cards. In fact, the players are out already warming up for that, and so we will be in a position to bring you that in about 20 minutes time. So until then, let's say bye for now from the commentary area.
It's a new day, a day we've been waiting for our whole lives. This is the beginning of something that we thought was impossible. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to work together as a team. And trust me, they know that Choiseul is on the rise. What they don't know is that we are just getting started.
Choiseul Cooperative Credit Union. Call us today at 459-3119 or 459-3100.
US Polo Association is having a massive sale at both locations at the Castries and Baywalk Mall. 30 to 70% off. That's right, 30 to 70% off. Men's, ladies, and kids apparel. Now is your chance to get your favorite outfits at fantastic savings. 30 to 70% off. And it's all happening at both locations, Castries and the Baywalk Mall. US Polo Association would like to thank our loyal customers for the years of support. Don't forget, 30 to 70% off. Sale starts Wednesday, October 11th.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
At Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914. Or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
Thank you so much for keeping it tuned in, and of course another beautiful match happening here at Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds. Oh my goodness, it's the first time I'm actually meeting you in person, so I am wow, starstruck, but it's a good kind of starstruck feeling because it's a national just like me, so I'm very happy about that. So Darren, how do you feel about the KFC SPLT20 coming back? And of course it looks like it has come back with a bang.
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's one of the tournaments I used to look forward to. You know, obviously through COVID we didn't have it, I think, for 3 years. But Hassan, you know, I played cricket with Hassan from school level, national level, and to see the work they've put in, and SPL is back, new sponsor, you know, and so far the games have been exciting. You know, I'm scheduled to play for Miku. I'm trying to dodge it. You know, I'm an old man now, you know, give the youngsters a chance, but we'll see what happens. But it's always a pleasure coming here at this facility and playing.
Well, as you say, you're an old man. That's what he says. But as far as we consider, we can't have a party without wine. And you know, wine needs to be aged to taste good. So we're very happy that you are actually part of it. And, you know, it's something that you've been part of. And you're happy that it's back. So, as far as the games are concerned right now, the information that you've gathered so far, what you've seen, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, my team, you know, Miku Eagles, you know, they put out a very clinical display yesterday. And that's for more reason I don't want to come in and upset the balance of the team. But, look, we come up against, you know, Central. It's another, you know, strong team, you know, well coached by Mr. Shalry, and they have some good national players as well. So it's going to be another challenge for us. Whether I decide to play or not, it's left to be desired. But I'm looking forward to the match. My son is there, came from school to play this weekend, so hopefully it's a good game, and Eagles come out victorious.
Well, that's what it's all about. So looking forward to seeing exactly what happens in the final match this evening right here At his cricket grounds. That's the first time I was saying that. That's hilarious. I like it. So do enjoy the evening. And of course, looking forward to seeing you on the field with a big question mark. Okay, we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But, you know, you have to tell the listener, the viewers, you know, come and support the local cricket, you know, the fans, the players, you know, the players need the fans, you know, to create an atmosphere. So it would be good to come out and support the SPL, see the future and also the local players on display. So hopefully the tournament picks up.
Exactly. So you heard from the man himself, the pioneer, the person who opened the gate for us all. So people come out. Come out. It's cheap. It's reasonable. There's food and drinks. Bring everybody. And they deserve the vibe. Because, you know, we need as many people as possible to be out there in the international sports field. So it's right. The opportunity is here. So people come out. All right. So enjoy.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us.
Yes.
All right. So right about now, we're going to speak with the captains of the game that just concluded. That is Laborie Pride and, of course, the Soufriere Stompers. So, Denny, we're here again?
Yes, we are.
We are here again.
Yeah.
But this time your face looks a little better than last night. So, so tell us, how was this game today?
I think it is a matter of the lack of application. In the beginning, we dropped too many catches, and that really put us under pressure. Chasing a score of 167. Any day in 2020, you back yourself on a good wicket to chase those runs, and unfortunately, our batting didn't come through tonight. We now, unfortunately, have lost 2 games, which puts us, of course, under a lot of pressure. We look forward to the next game. In as much as it was our first time, I think, like I said last night, we can take a lot of positives from both these games and move forward with our third game and bring a victory to the fans. Now we're really playing for the pride of Laborie.
All right, so third time's a charm, and of course, boy, you gotta bring it hard. All right. So any highlights tonight?
Yeah, the bowling. Yeah, we brought 2 guys in. They did relatively well. So that, like I said, is a plus for our team. And of course, we look forward to the next match so that they could continue and improve on their efforts. Okay. Thank you very much.
So, great game, and of course, I'm wishing you and your team well in the third game, and of course, get some rest. All right?
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. All right, so we're moving on to the champions of the second game today of day 3 of the KFC SPLT20, and of course, Soufriere Stumpers, Sulphur City, just laid the Souf down on them today. Captain, tell us about it.
I'm pretty impressed with the guys' performance tonight. I mean, we in the beginning, I told you we were looking at 160. We ended up getting 167, and that was very impressive. And then coming back on the field to restrict them in less than 100, which is what we planned to. So executing in all aspects of the game, that was a very good performance by the boys.
Wonderful. So your game plan fell through. Well, not even fell through, rose up, and you definitely took the match tonight. So what are the highlights? What really got you guys going tonight?
I mean, we went out there. We were looking for more than 45 runs in the power play. We got that. Also, we got the score we wanted. And to top it off, the bowlers came out and bowled pretty well. Win Prosper, a good opening spell, 4 wickets odd. All the bowlers came through today, so very impressive from all the guys today.
Wonderful. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys again, and of course just bringing it home. Like you said, Soufriere Stompers, they brought the Soufriere. They brought it today, and of course they did very well. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. Cheers.
So right about now we're going to introduce the man of the match. All right, so man of the match, you have definitely outshined everyone today. Tell us about yourself. Tell us.
Well, not outshine. I would like to just say thanks for the support from my team. It was a total team effort. Although I got the 3 wickets, but the runs on the board was runs on the board, so we had to just apply and just keep to the lines and plans of the team. So that's basically it. Just back myself and take the energy from the team and just do what I had to do.
Wonderful. So you definitely brought Soufriere up to the north, and of course did a very, very good game. Any highlights? Well, what really, besides what you said, what really got you tonight?
Well, the to be honest, we had a good opening partnership, and I think the runs on the board, I think the batsmen came in from what we did last game. They showed their talent, and that actually gave us a boost. And I just once they have runs on the board, I'm always there to execute my job.
Wonderful. All right. So, man of the match?
Win Prosper.
Win Prosper. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. The win was more necessary, but I did what was necessary for my team, so that's what it is.
All right. And like I said, you all just laid the soup on them tonight, so.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And he represents in sulfur yellows. All right. So congratulations to Soufriere Stompers for winning the second match of, today of day 3 of the KFC SPLT20. Now, just to let you know that it is... the sponsors are definitely KFC, the National Lotteries Authority. We have Bank of St. Lucia on board, also Sports and Awards, and Nagico as well, part of the sponsorship. And of course, asking you guys to come out. It's still early. We still have our final match this evening, which will definitely be the coming from, Class Central and Miku. So they're coming up. They're coming up next, and of course we're going to get some great highlights and the opening toss coming up and the final game for this evening coming up as well. So keep it tuned in. Don't go anywhere. And those of you who still want to come out, there's lots of space, and of course there's lots of room to support. So come on all.
To do this delivery is driving airborne and caught, dropped. Well, that was a dolly of a catch. That Sylvester hoiks that over the bowler's head and into the boundary for 4. From us bows to Thomas. Thomas advancing, hits nicely out towards long extra cover. 1 bounce into the boundary for 4. So good enterprising stuff. From moving in goes to Thomas. Thomas driving, beats Theodore and will go into the boundary behind him for 4. So good stroke by the delivery that's played down the ground and an attempted catch. Diving there was the toss and he left it to bat. This is number 6 of the SPLT20 delivery that is bowled them. There was Sylvester looking. Was jumped a couple of overs back. Delivery. Thomas plays down to third man, finds the gap and into the boundary ahead of the 2 pursuing fielders for 4. Driving out towards the long off who comes off the boundary all along the ground. They've taken 1. Well, he's in trouble there, Thomas, and is going to be run out. Poor long off who comes off the boundary all along the ground. They've taken 1. Well, he's in trouble there, Thomas, and is going to be run out. Poor running between the 2. A misunderstanding. Moving in, goes to his bullet is back and top edge. The possibility of a catch, mid-wicket dropped. Well. Third over, he's got knocked for 9. Delivery that is lofted out towards the onside all the way. 6 runs. The big man Emmanuel getting on through the field at long on. It was a lot straighter than mid-wicket. So long on coming to his right and not able to cut it off. And Emmanuel 101 for 2. Emmanuel is lofting that massively out into the Johnson Charles stand. In fact, hitting the roof thereof. A big hit, one of the big. Emmanuel in strike, delivery that's hoiked away out towards deep mid-wicket. In fact, the backward square leg, another maximum as Emmanuel. This that is bowled is Emmanuel looking to go for glory once again in the mid-wicket region. And Don and Edwin goes to the deliveries, driving out towards the long on field, the long off fielder taken. Good catch. Nice to see lofting that out towards mid-wicket. The fielder is hanging around the boundary, but it's going to be unsuccessful. It goes over his head for 6. And Bradley team immediately dismissed with the new over, the 17 coming in. And so that, make sure you keep your eyes on it. Peter moving to Tisson. Tisson is hoiking that. It goes airborne. Chance for a catch at the bowler, taking it. So out towards the deep extra cover region. The long off comes off to his left and gets a good high return. back into keeper Abraham. So 2 more over, moves in, bowls through Monrose. Monrose is advancing and hits it high. Possibility of a catch to long on, taken. So good catch taken straight to field in error, as the fielder number 20 not able to take the catch and not able to stop the ball from going into the boundary. Gassi lost that out towards the onside. That's gone. That's a big one into the Johnson style stand. And what a blow by Gassi. It was successive wickets for Prosper. Owen Edwards, first delivery, short and looking to pull, but straight to the mid-wicket fielder.
It's a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. This is the beginning of something that we thought was impossible. We've put in the work to get to this moment. To work together as a team. And trust me, they know that Chozelle is on the rise. What they don't know is that we are just getting started.
Chozelle Cooperative Credit Union. Call us today at 459-3119 or 459-3100.
US Polo Association is having a massive sale at both locations at the Castries and Baywalk Mall. 30 to 70% off. That's right, 30 to 70% off. Men's, ladies, and kids apparel. Now is your chance to get your favorite outfits at fantastic savings. 30 to 70% off. And it's all happening at both locations, Castries and the Baywalk Mall. US Polo Association would like to thank our loyal customers for the years of support. Don't forget, 30 to 70% off. Sale starts Wednesday, October 11th.